Speaking of being used, well, it appears Disney is being maybe used by one entertainment company out there. From Blue Loop, Disneyland Abu Dhabi to be Emirati in style, says Miral CEO. Disney Emiral's project is now in the design phase. This is a very interesting article to actually go through because it basically details how everything is going to work under this structure for the, seventh Disney resort out here. Disneyland Abu Dhabi will be authentically Emirati in style, but fully Disney in experience, Miral's group CEO has said in an interview. Disney plans for a theme park resort in Abu Dhabi. Those plans were announced in May. The resort on Yas Island will be Disney's most advanced and interactive to date. Disneyland Abu Dhabi will be fully developed and built by Miral, Abu Dhabi's creator of immersive destinations. It will also be operated by the company. Now that's a very, very interesting, particularly interesting piece of information right there, because we had heard that, well, the Imagineering team that's going to be focused on this will be taking the lead and will be developing this theme park concept in association with Miral, but it doesn't seem to be the case. It seems to be that Miral is going to be taking a little bit of a lead in the design phase, which I thought was very surprising. And you can see some of that already playing out right here. Miral CEO Mohammed Abdullah Al-Zabi, hopefully I got that right, recently visited Walt Disney Imagineering. Miral is partnering with Disney on Disneyland Abu Dhabi. And you can see right there, that's 1401 Flower Street with the CEO of Miral there. Culture. Who's in charge on this project? What do you take from the fact that this is being designed, developed, not just funded and built by Miral, but actually, lots of its facilitation coming from Miral itself?
Yeah, no, Disney's just there, I would say, in just above a consultancy role. I don't anticipate that they have a whole lot of investment in this after they've got this thing laid out in the midst of the desert. I can't imagine that they would maintain much control, if any, of what's going on there, which is why I have a feeling that, once they're done with it, they're kind of wash their hands for the most part, unless there's extra additions to be added or things that Disney used to do, like plussing up some of the attractions over time or whatnot. So I really feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, but this is 100% the people making this project itself. So Miral is basically going to take operational control and maybe even some creative risks themselves. So much like OLC, I don't think there's going to be as much. It won't be anything like OLC. Actually, maybe it will be even less Disney control over this.
The only thing that surprised me about this story, Vash, is that you were surprised by it. The second I saw the concept art with that weird crystal sticking out of the ground instead of a castle, I was like, Disney has no say in this. They are being given a whole lot of money to be able to call it Disneyland, and then that's going to be it. Maybe they'll supply some training to the cast members, but this is the UAE is 100% in control of this. I'm convinced. I have been convinced from the start, especially with how quickly this came about. It was just basically like, we're going to give you a whole lot of money. You're going to be able to call it Disneyland, and we're going to control everything. And I think Disney just was happy to take that money.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. I guess I'm surprised because, with Tokyo Disneyland, for example, the OLC as Oriental Land Company situation, as Culture beautifully pointed out before there, like Oriental Land Company definitely had what it wanted to feature, especially in the first park, the Disneyland park out there, right? It was like, okay, we want Cinderella's Castle, but we want Disneyland's Pirates of the Caribbean. We want Walt Disney World's Haunted Mansion, but we want Disneyland's New Orleans Square. It was kind of like pick and choose and all of that. But then there was a time in which Imagineering did present concepts to them that they incorporated, like I would say Tokyo Disney Sea is kind of that way, in which a lot of that was spearheaded by Imagineering, and OLC actually approved it. And I thought maybe that's how this was going to work. So I'm actually quite surprised that Miral is taking such a leadership role when it comes to the design and development phase for this new theme park concept out there in Abu Dhabi. Now, Culture, I want to ask you, is this more about Miral wanting to take control because they are paying for it, and this is just the deal that they've actually struck up? Or is this more motivated by maybe trust and maybe, Miral not completely trusting what Imagineering has been putting out the last couple of years?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head there with your second point. I think nobody trusts Disney with what they've produced in the last few years, least of all the folks over there in the UAE. But the more I look at these things, the more I recognize that they might also be making a different play. Disney's cheap. Think about how much the company's actually worth. Think about how much money the various kingdoms in the Middle East have. So let's talk about the fact that it's possible they may want to acquire Disney. And to be fair, that might actually be a good thing for Disney and for us.
Right. But I'm sorry, a good thing would be for the Middle East to own Disney? I don't think so.
Well, I mean, it would be better than what we've got now. At least they wouldn't be doing dumb things with money.
Not.
You don't think so?
It would not.
Okay.
No, handing over Disney to countries that have Sharia law? No, culture. That would not be a good thing.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Well, it would be a lot more traditional, I guess, but of a different variety of traditionalism.
I can't imagine them like hearing a public outcry against what's happening right now at Magic Kingdom and going, maybe that's not a great idea. Maybe tearing America out of the American theme parks isn't a good plan. There
was a lot wrong with a lot of modern things like Hollywood, like Disney, theme parks, all of that stuff. The answer is not to sell it to the Middle East, and it is not to sell it to China.
I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Let's not pretend that they're the good guys, please.
I'm not, but Disney sure seems to think so. I mean, they invested how much money in Shanghai?
I know, but Disney being bad does not make the UAE or China good.
I wasn't making that equivalency. I just thought perhaps it would be a better situation than we have now.
There have been conversations in the past about maybe spinning off the theme park division and having somebody else manage the actual theme parks themselves, day-to-day operations wise, and then Disney gets a royalty check. Not too dissimilar to the situation as it exists out there in the Oriental Land Company, but for the entire theme park division. So this idea that I think culture is talking about here, it's not out of the realm of complete possibility. Now, the entire company, I'm not quite sure about, but at least in the theme park side of things, I mean, who knows? Now, I will say Disney relies heavily on that revenue in order to facilitate all of their products, at least in the modern era. So I think those conversations and talks have calmed down since when I first heard about them, 20 or so years ago. But there's definitely a changing of the times here for sure. I didn't know that Disney was going to go in the Middle East, but apparently they are. And there are some good reasons as to why they are actually doing that. And I'm at least encouraged that Miral is taking the operational lead on this and the development lead on this, because we just haven't seen that great of stuff come out from Disney, unfortunately, when they've been left to their own devices. That being said, who knows what that's actually going to result in. Marvin, are you at all excited about the concepts that are developed here for this 13th gate? I lost count now. Well, go ahead, please.
No, absolutely not. I think this is ridiculous. It's, it's just a money grab. It's I don't understand who is like, you know what? For my vacation this year, I need to relax. I'm going to the Middle East, like now of all times. Like I don't know, man. I'm constantly baffled by the idea of these places as a tourist destination. Yes, they have a lot of money to throw around, and they're trying to outdo American companies on a lot of their American stuff. But I don't know, man. I'm not all for it. I don't like it. I don't like the concept. I don't like the concept art. It's going to be a mostly indoor theme park from what we're hearing. So, no.
Well, it's like every other theme park over there, to be fair.
But yeah, because it's too hot to live in a tourist destination.
It's the surface of the sun.
Oh,
you know what I want to do? I want to go on vacation somewhere where you literally can't step outside or you might die.
Yeah, well, sounds like Florida to me, but I could be wrong.
I'll say this: the tourism industry for this region of the world has really exploded in recent years. So I don't think it's the worst venture for Disney, and it definitely bailed them out of what was going to be probably a really bad quarter for them. Now you have people talking, even Josh Giamaro, hey, the next CEO. That conversation has really accelerated after this whole announcement here. So it's an interesting project to watch because it has so many ramifications for the company and for theme parks and so forth. We're going to keep an eye on it and more here on That Park Plays.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.